everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Mizuki Arts. Today we're doing a cozy kind of fall themed paint with me. This fairy was designed with the help of my Instagram followers on my little broadcast channel thing. I did something similar like this earlier in the summer, and this was just take two because I had a lot of fun with that challenge. However, this painting got very out of control very quickly, as some of the mistakes that I had made in the line art earlier and some of her proportions and all that definitely haunted me during this process a little bit, which is a seasonal pun that was not intentional, but it's definitely fitting. So I guess the horror is starting a little early this year, but if you guys don't mind, then yeah, we can just get going with this painting process, and I can share with you exactly in detail how these things went wrong. But first, let me go through some of the details of this design that were voted on by my Instagram followers. They decided she should have braids, she should live in like a mossy undergrowth type of environment. They decided that she should both be a baker and a fisher. It was actually tied for this. And they decided she should have a scar and beaded jewelry as some of her I don't know, notable visual elements. So I did try to incorporate those into this design. I actually do really like the design of this fairy. I do love her outfit. You'll see later in the video it ended up being quite a nice balanced color scheme. And I do like that she both bakes and fishes. It makes her feel like a more rounded out character actually, and it really sells the idea that she's a hermit, which makes sense to me because she's living in this dark, hollowed out, mossy log. But something I started to notice as I was painting her was that her eyes were too close together and they weren't actually in the proper perspective for this pose. I also didn't really like her mouth. Something about it was just really awkwardly placed. So here I tried to just focus on her outfit. But when I have a mistake in my artwork, something I really struggle with is when there's a mistake on the face. I have a hard time focusing on anything else when a character's face looks wrong to me, and I just felt like this fairy was staring into my soul and maybe taunting me a little bit, which is not a good feeling, nor a very sane sounding feeling to experience at all. And because of this, early on in the painting process, my confidence was pretty much shattered. Going in with her natural colored dress, I was really worried that it wasn't the correct color combination for this piece. I just kept worrying that I should have gone with something more vibrant. The red on her sleeves and the green looked really washed out, and the brown just seemed like a poor choice at the time for her skirt. But you'll see later on I do my best to kind of bring some vibrancy into that. I think in the future, if I were to make a mistake with a face, which I definitely will do again, I will cover the face with a sticky note so that I can focus on the other parts of the drawing and wait until I'm feeling more level-headed about the face, because that's definitely what I should have done here. We are interrupting this regularly scheduled program to tell you to go check out my Etsy shop. Since fairies have overtaken my sketchbook and my life, my shop has become the ultimate fairy lover's dream. With products ranging from stickers, pins, and prints to original paintings, I've got it all. All of my stickers are printed on waterproof vinyl, and my prints are on high-quality, durable, matte photo paper. So if you're watching this video, there's probably a fairy that's perfect for you. Whether you're looking for stickers, prints, paintings, or pins, head to www.etsy.com/shop/MizukiArtStudio. Anyways, thank you for listening to my spiel, as usual. I hope you guys can understand I have to include those little interruptions because that is how I make my money currently. I'm not monetized on YouTube, so yeah, right now my shop and my Ko-fi page are how I make a little something to support myself as a student. Anyways, for this fairy's wings, I decided to keep them pretty small. As you can see, they just look almost like little ribbons, like a little bow or something at her back. I think it's very cute and very minimalistic, and I figure her small wings may contribute to her desire to be a hermit, live on her own. Maybe she can't fly, so she feels like she needs to be independent in other ways. I imagine flight is a very important thing to the fairies that I create, like feeling independent, feeling like they have big beautiful wings that are, you know, eye-catching and very like effective at flight. But this fairy has very, very small wings, very minimalistic wings, so maybe she kind of likes to strike off on her own and prove to herself that she's still like useful, still independent, and still like a very self-sufficient person. I tried to make her skin tone a little richer and warmer. You saw there it was pretty orange for just a second, and then I like dabbed off some of the paint with like a paper towel. I decided to have lots of little accessories kind of floating around this fairy. I like to do that with a lot of my paintings to kind of show what a fairy is doing, what a fairy's world looks like a little bit more. Like I don't know, it doesn't make sense for like an illustration that would be exactly like a photo, like if it were like a moment in time, unless she's using magic and she's just carrying around all these cinnamon rolls. But I figure it's to show that she's thinking about cinnamon rolls, she's thinking about her baking and making some sweet treats for herself. And as you can see, she's carrying a plate of cinnamon rolls. Perhaps she just finished baking them and they're ready to cool off, or perhaps they've already spent their time outside and she's going to bring them back into her home to store away for the coming winter. Who knows? As you can see on screen, I have added a little bit more color to her outfit, which I really was starting to love, which actually contributed to the chaos later in this video because I loved this fairy too much to let her have a face that I wasn't happy with. But yeah, I added a green color to her corset that kind of matched her wings. I really hyped up that color on her sleeves, and I gave her this like nice dark brown hair. It's kind of like a, I don't know, like a hazelnut color almost, or chestnut, I guess, not hazelnut. And then later in the video, I actually ended up adding like blue embroidery details to her sleeves using an acrylic marker. I just felt like this color palette really needed a nice saturated blue to kind of balance it out, and that is definitely what ended up working in my favor in saving this super awkward looking build of a dress. I tried to add in more shadows too. Things are pretty overworked at this point because I just was struggling that day with the motivation to paint, even though I loved this fairy. I just was having a hard time creatively. I think I mentioned in the last video, my last paint with me, that I was having a hard time that week kind of functioning artistically, like things just weren't really going the way that I wanted. But anyways, I did my best to build up some values because getting a higher range of values is definitely something that I want to focus on in the coming months before my graduation. So yeah, I went in with kind of a dry brush effect, and then I was ready to start adding some acrylic paint details with paint markers. The ones that I use are Arctic's acrylic paint markers. They actually sent me these a while back, and I use them quite often. I really do love them. They're really very nice for adding like little details and stuff. And here's that blue embroidery I talked about earlier. I really think this saved the sleeves. Like, look at how nice that looks. It looks so clean and it adds to the like nice homey handmade feel to her outfit. She's just like, she looks like she's really enjoying like a crisp autumn day, but like she's not too cold, you know, she's still hanging out outside, and she's just feeling very cozy and enjoying some nice autumn weather. That's something I really love about this character. She just looks like she's not bothered by the fact that she's living life as kind of like a hermit. She looks very happy and very self-sufficient. I decided to add more of those embroidery details onto the actual corset, and this definitely helped to tie together some of the awkward parts of the outfit as well, and add to that very lovingly handmade kind of feel to her character overall. And I loved adding jewelry too, because I like the idea that even though she's alone and she's working, that she takes a lot of pride in her appearance. So yeah, I added more gel pen and acrylic paint details to her, and at this point I thought I was just going to kind of do my best to work over this character's face. So you'll see me adding lots of gel pen and acrylic paint marker details and all that to her face and character. I added like freckles and all that, but you'll see how the chaos is coming. It ended up getting way out of control. I'm just using Mod Podge to secure her in place. And you know, this went fairly quickly. I added in those cinnamon rolls, I added in her little like basket of fish, and some gel pen details to unify the character with her background. And of course I added glitter, just pretending that everything was fine and that I wasn't burning with frustration on the inside for this poor girl. But then my X-Acto knife just magically found its way into my hands. And I just started, you know, peeling off her face. I loved so much of this character, I could not let her have a face that I was not happy with. So yes, you know what, I peeled off her face. And it's horrifying and terrifying, and I made a little template piece with some scrap paper, which I then traced onto watercolor paper, as you can see on screen now. I plan to try and unify this new face with the original piece as best as I possibly could. I roughly sketched on a new face for her, but you'll see I adjusted a little bit once I cut it out and try it on her a little bit, just to make sure everything's in proportion and all that with the rest of her. I like this new face a lot better. It's a lot cuter. I think it suits her a lot better. I could not let y'all down. Not the people that voted on some of her design details, not the people that are watching this video, and I definitely could not let myself down either, because I liked the rest of her design and I could not live with her face being that overworked. It just looked so horrible and it was depressing. So here I am, adjusting her face a little bit to suit the drawing. I added in more of like her curls and all that, because I wanted that to still look like it came over her face, obviously. I used line art to try and like make the transition between one piece of paper and the other as like seamless as possible. And then I got to inking in the little details. I did not forget her scar, by the way. I did include that. I knew she absolutely needed to keep her mouth scar, because obviously my Instagram buddies had voted on that, and also I thought it was a nice detail to make this character feel a little more like real, or realistic, I guess, if a fairy can be realistic. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I was happy with this new face. And then I pulled it aside and I started painting it. I tried to get all the undertones to kind of match the main painting as best as I possibly could get it, because I want these two to look like they belong together. Like, I want it to look like, you know, it was all done on one piece of paper. So I did my best to mix up the skin tone to match, and I adjusted it more once I had like overlapped the pieces a little bit. And I got out those wonderful acrylic markers again, to work on her hair and try to get it to match the hair on the rest of her head and all that. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting experiment, even though I was like super frustrated. But yeah, I was happy with how this went, and I feel like once I put it on there, it like looks pretty convincing. I mean, it's not the best face I've ever drawn. It's not like the most in proportion face I've ever drawn, but it looks so much better than the one that she had before. I'm hugely happy with this improvement. even so, I was aware that I had like way overworked this painting, put way too much time into this one piece, when maybe I should have just walked away. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think about this piece down in the comments, because this was quite the adventure for me. It's been an interesting time, that's for sure. But I do like her. I think she's really cute. Now at least. But I don't know that I'll ever draw her again. Real quick before I end the video, I want to give a shout out to my Ko-fi supporters. So thank you so much to Ashley, Savvy, and Tiffany. Your guys' support means the world to me, and it allows me to keep making videos just like this one. If you would like to join my Ko-fi page, there will be a link in the description box below for all these benefits and so much more. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a great early fall. At least I'm calling it fall. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!